Hi there guys, Sam here. You join me once again in my Mark 7 Golf R. I'm just at Porsche Centre Experience at Silverstone. Had a fantastic drive in a 718 Cayman GT4 PDK, and I'm simply going to explain to you what I prefer, the PDK or the manual, because I think that's quite a good comparison. I've been here probably for the last 5 years. I've probably done about 9 or 10 90-minute experiences. Today I actually had about 2 hours in the car, which was absolutely fantastic in the 718 Cayman GT4 PDK. It's always a little bit of a contentious thing between the PDK and a manual, which was better. But yeah, let me just try and give you a good explanation and hopefully help you out if you're looking to get one, basically. So first of all, I mean, I'll show you, it's absolutely horrible weather, but that's the best time to come here. I'm not going to lie, because if you come here during the bone dry, you know, gorgeous sunny day, it's great, but you know, you can't reach the limits even around the track here. But in the wet, you really can. You've got that fine balance. I absolutely loved it. Today was probably the best experience I've ever had. You know, the instructor I had, Rob Colburn, I would recommend. I think all of them have been great, to be honest, but this one was fantastic. I think because I'm so used to coming here and going around in these cars, you know, that probably helped as well, and I got a little bit more time than normal experience. So yes, PDK or manual, let's get straight into this. So I've driven the 981 GT4, which was only available in manual, probably about 5 times around here. And I absolutely loved it. Very raw, great sound, no OPF restrictions or anything. Fantastic car, absolutely loved it. You know, would 100% recommend, 100% recommend, great car. The 718 GT4, I drove the manual, and you know what? I didn't feel it was quite as good as the 981. It just didn't feel as raw. It felt more road biased. If anything, the 981, the previous Gen 98 GT4, felt almost like an RS. It was that kind of level. That's just from my experience. Whereas this car, you can drive it on the road. And funnily enough, with the 718 GT4, they obviously released the GT4 RS, which, I mean, if I can try that one at some point next year, I will, and I will explain it to you if I can. So yeah, so I went from that car, which was a manual, had ceramics, straight into today's car, which I've hopefully either shown on screen or I'll show on screen now. It's like a gentian blue. Love the colour. I don't want a car to be too showy. Like it quite subtle, but still nice at the same time. Great colour. Great car. PDK gearbox, which was weird in a Cayman for me. Really weird, particularly in a GT4. Sounded great, sports exhaust, you know, fantastic. Just the suspension was great, mid-engine was great. The gearbox is superb, and particularly around here when you've got a lot of different things to do. You've got skid plans, you've got obviously like launches if you want to kind of do that stuff. You've got low grip surfaces, you've got high grip surfaces. You go around track, you really get a good feel for the car. I actually, although I love a manual gearbox in my Golf R, for example, I love it for the road. I think on the track I prefer PDK. I'm actually going to try and come back here again in a 992 GTS. Recommendation a little bit from the guy, and actually from my kind of personal feeling, I think that should be quite a good car to drive. As a special car though, it certainly ticks the box. You sit so low and it's so nice. But you know, if you want to know how great the GT4 is, you know, you can check back on the manual review, because obviously I explain that a little bit more, and I'll leave the link above for that. PDK or manual, what should you go for and what should you try? On the road, you know what? It's a real tough one, because the gearing's so long. On the road, you only go through first and second, and that's it. You can't even rev it out in second, because you're doing 80, 84 in second. So, and the PDK gearbox, because the torque is quite strong in these new 4-litre naturally aspirated engines, you can actually change gear quite a few times. We just left it in auto. Even these trained instructors have so much experience, just left it in auto. You know, concentrate on the driving, concentrate on the handling. Front end, amazing. I didn't notice any difference in weight. I mean, I think the PDK gearbox is about 20 kilograms higher. So yeah, it's a difference, but it's not like, you know, end of the world. So smooth. It allows you to concentrate on other aspects of driving. That's the one thing I would say, which I think with a Cayman, there's so much to concentrate about. You get all the benefits of a mid-engine car. Think of like a Formula 1 car. Limits are endless, but once it goes, you don't have as much time. Whereas in a 911, potentially you don't get as much grip potentially, or as much sort of chassis control, because it's a rear-engine car. But when it does go, you have a little bit more control and a bit more time to sort things out, but you don't in a Cayman. You know, would I go for a PDK on the road? I probably would, you know. And I can't believe I'm saying that. Would I go for a PDK again driving around here? I probably would. And I am a manual fan to the nth degree, and you know, I don't ever intend to really get rid of this Mark 7 Golf R, and I love it in a manual. But this gearbox is very short, very different to the Porsche manual gearbox, which are very long gearing, very tall gearing, which is designed for economy, so they can keep making these cars. You know, European legislation really does restrict that. Whereas this car, I can be doing, I think first is about 30, second you have to change up before you get to 60, I think it's like 55 miles an hour, so you can be getting through the first 3 gears within the limit. So that's really, really cool. So PDK I'd recommend. I love the, you know, it's not tech heavy, those Caymans. You know, 3 little circle dials, infotainment, which I just wouldn't even bother with, just turn it off, doesn't matter. You get like the door pulls, and it's just such a nice place to be. You sit so low, you pivot around the car, and I absolutely loved it. Sounded really, really good. Yeah, I can't recommend coming to this place. I'm so glad I tried that car, and it's made me realise that the GT4 RS, you are going to have to be on some sort of mega track to notice the difference. You really are. And you're going to have to be way more of a professional driver than your average normal road person. Particularly with the values of those, it's quite hard, whereas the GT4 is a little bit more accessible. Yeah, so I loved it. It was so smooth. Yeah, in sport mode you could still feel it. Yeah, great car. Worked really well with the engine, actually. Obviously that naturally aspirated unit. So PDK, all I can say is I would 100% recommend it. I'd recommend coming here. I think it was a great car. Please comment below. It's very much a community channel, and I want to try and help you out in the comments. If you've got one, or if you've experienced one, or if you haven't experienced one, ask questions and I will answer them, and this can kind of be a video people can go back to and hopefully help. I'll put in another little clip of me just kind of going around here, but I'll end it there. I absolutely loved it. Hope you enjoyed the clips of the car, and I hope my small opinion gives you an overview of what to go for. PDK or manual, I'd go PDK. Doesn't take anything away from the manual car, but I would go for PDK. Great car, and yeah, let me just show you a few of the other cool cars here, and we'll wrap it up there. Right guys, Cayman GTS 4 litre. How cool does that look? 911R. You've got a McCann GTS, the new one. Absolutely raining here. See me, nice and wet. GTS, definitely the pick of the range. You've got some people's actual cars, so I'm not going to go around everything. But yeah, this is Porsche Silverstone. I think you've got a McLaren there, you've got GT3s. What a place, what a place. I cannot recommend it enough.